Now this video is on how I lay blocks, and I laid it underneath this little loading dock porch type of thing, and I plastered them so you're not going to see them. So I'm going to show you how I start a job like this using block work. Now we're going to lay block here. We already poured our footer, and the first thing you got to know about block work is nothing ever works out perfect. You got to adjust everything. This is out of square with that building, so I'm going to go square with this. And this is what I use to square my building on. Just get a piece of plywood like this, and this will put me 95 to 99% in where it should be in square instead of running around with the tapes all the time. So now we're going to start to lay our blocks out dry. Now I'm mostly saying this for new guys that are starting out in this business. And anytime you're going to build a building, best thing to do is lay it out dry. Because if you lay it out dry, you can't make a mistake. Then you know you're square, everything fits. So all these blocks I put in, they're just sitting there dry. I got it squared with my square here. It's a very small building. That's how you start. Lay everything out dry, you can't make a mistake. Now we're going up against the wall here, and we got to cut a block. So, looks like around 3 inches. So we get over here and we just mark it 3 inches. Just keep doing that until you hear the change in the sound of the block. You hear it changing. Good enough. Next step is I get my transit and I make sure that I'm totally level with the block all the way through. I have the guy look at it with the transit, and I check all my corners, and then I know if I'm level or not. I'm laying my corner blocks first. In this section over here, I'm a 1/4 inch low, so I'm going to bring this block up a 1/4 inch. And when you're doing this kind of work, every mason does it different. I usually have something to go off of, but in this case we're just putting it in, and then I kind of level it to see where I'm at. That way and this way. That's my corner block. Now I got my line up. You can use these things, they're dogs, we call them. Some people call them block holders, depends on where you come from. That's my line, I'm going to follow that. This is my footer. You can go like this, like that. Lay them right to the line. Now if you're a beginner, you should level it this way. Little trick is to go like that and it stays with the trowel. You see it? I'm going to lay this corner block, and we got door wall down here. It's just a wire. Now we got our wall buttered, and we just take our corner block and go right over the top like this. And we're basically going to measure up 8 inches from that block, a little high. That's we know our height with the transit. And then we just level it this way. Level it this way. And we level it this way. because a lot of our blocks ain't always square all the time. Then we know where we're at. Okay, we're gonna lay a block here. And this is the way I think when I do a block job. Every mason got their own style. There's no such thing as the right way and wrong way to do it. You butter your joints, go like this, and it'll stick, it won't fall off. You see it? Then you go like that. Then you go like that. Get your block, and put it in. You bring the front down to the line. You can just see the line. Then I scrape it. See how I scrape it? You gotta scrape it off. Sometimes you got a little hole. Gotta do what you gotta do. If the block is sticking out, it's too high. A lot of different ways to think on block work. There's no certain way. That's the way I do it. I have my line here. Here's my wire. What I'm gonna do basically is just put it over my wire like that. And I usually fill this hole right here. I do that, and I go like that, and I put a block right in like that, right even with the line on this side. Then you'll see you got a ledge here. Bring that ledge down until you're even. And then you know your block is even. And then when you cut it like this. You don't like that, you cut it. A lot better videos out there probably on how to do block work, but if I have to do it, this is the way I do it. All right, we got our corner leveled up like this. And as we're building, we go sideways with our block to make sure they line up with the wall. A big deal about laying blocks is sometimes you got a big joint, a small joint, and a big joint. You have to adjust them. Block work is all about adjusting and brickwork. That's why I always say you lay it out dry and you know where you're at. But sometimes you got to move them up a little bit and move them around before you finally fill them in. Every mason has a different way of doing it. As long as it works out at the end, everything's good. Now when you're raking out, you just get a raker, or you could get even a piece of copper tubing, and you just go like that. That'll strike it up for you. And then you just get a soft brush and go over it like that. And that's how you rake it up. But if you're working underground, you don't have to rake it up. I just always get the sponge and I just fill it in. This makes it look like there's no holes. That way when the owner comes and sees it, looks like a professional job.